My name is Deltlead and welcome to EVE Echoes. In this series I'm going to be covering the markets in EVE Echoes, this multiplayer online game where players dictate the markets by interacting with and exploring the universe. Now, as this game is only a couple of weeks now old, starting in late or early August, now we're at August 30th, it's only been around for a little under a month at this point. We're seeing the market finally start to stabilize in the previous couple of days. For instance, titanium is starting to trade roughly around its actual value, between 3 and 2 ISK per unit of titanium, which is just under the 4 ISK per titanium. Pyrite is actually trading right at value at 17 ISK and below for it, which is actually what the game valuates it at. Mexilon is well under its value at 35 to 27 ISK per unit. Isogen is trading also well under its value with 110 to 80 ISK per unit. Noxium trading again roughly close to its actual value, just under it, 1,000 ISK per unit to 950 ISK per unit. It is actually pretty close to its value. So we're seeing Pyrite and Noxium are trading at value, whereas the rest of the ores, or the rest of the minerals, are trading below their values. Zydrine especially is trading below its value between 538 and 420 ISK per unit, which is well under the 2,863 ISK price tag that the game gives it. Now, the last two minerals on this page, Megasite and Morphite, extremely unpredictable. They're the most rare and the most valuable ores, but we're seeing the most fluctuation in their value. 1,800 to 2,500 for Megasite, and Morphite 3,000 to 2,400, significantly below their actual price points. And the reason this is because while players are going out and finding these rare ores, no one is buying them because there's no real demand for those ores yet. Players haven't unlocked the advanced construction required to actually use those ores. So if the demand is low, the supply is high, those ores are all severely undervalued. The same goes for titanium, Mexilon, Isogen, and Zydrine. Titanium market is totally flooded at this point. There are so much titanium on the market because almost every ore contains a little titanium. So players who are going for those more rare ores like Zydrine, Isogen, or Noxium are ending up with a little bit of titanium in their reserves as a byproduct of that. And that titanium is basically trash at that point because that's not what people are trying to find. Mexilon, on the other hand, is a little bit harder to find, but you can find ores that specifically reprocess into Mexilon, so you're seeing a little bit more of that. Now, the reason that Zydrine, Megasite, and Morphite are so high is because no one is using them for manufacturing yet. Really, the only 4 ores that are being used for the bulk of manufacturing right now are titanium, pyrite, Mexilon, and Isogen. And of those 4, titanium, pyrite, and Mexilon are the most commonly used. So you're going to see pyrite, for instance, hits its value sooner because there's a demand. Now we see this trend played out in the raw ores as well. Raw ores are going for way less than the minerals are right now as far as their compared values. For instance, Veldspar, which Veldspar is, when reprocessed, just titanium, is trading for roughly 1/3 of its actual value. Scordite, which is a ore that contains both titanium and pyrite, is trading for almost 1/2 to 1/5 its value. Pyroxis is actually trading pretty high right now, between 200 and 160. It's roughly half of its value, but Pyroxis is a special case because players can complete an encounter where they deliver Pyroxis for an incredibly large amount of cash. So most Pyroxis is not being sold because those encounters exist. You can trade, if you're at tier 4 to tier 6, you can trade 500 Pyroxis, deliver it to the requested station, and get 250,000 ISK. Now, 250,000 ISK for 500 Pyroxis is way better than 200 ISK for 1 Pyroxis. So you're not seeing a whole lot of trading done with Pyroxis. You're seeing a lot of people completing those encounters with them. Plagioclase, we can click in here, 61 ISK, is trading at 20 ISK to 17, 15 ISK here, so it's also trading under. Amber is trading between 40 and 31, which is well under it. Kernite, which is a pyrite heavy, Mexilon heavy ore. Mexilon is actually the highest output. Tritanium and isogen are lower. Is also trading low, 80 to 69, which is less than 1/4 of its value. Jaspit's trading low between, if we look here, 580 and 490, which is well under the 3000 ISK for Jaspit. Hemorphite here, if I can open it up, there we go. Hemorphite is trading for 400 to 350. Hedbergite trading at 450 to 290, so it's going way low as well. Spudamine is trading way low, 480 to 300. Dark Ochre is also trading low. Now, Dark Ochre is interesting. It's trading 180 to 150, which is not very far off from the past three ores, Hemorphite, Hedbergite, and Spudamine. But her Dark Ochre is valued by the game way lower than those other ores. And that's likely because it only contains tritanium, isogen, and oxygen, and it's mostly tritanium. It's not as valuable of an ore, but it's still trading pretty competitive compared to Hemorphite and Hedbergite. Gneiss, trading low as well. Gneiss is valued at around 1,000 and is trading for roughly a quarter of its worth. Crocite is trading extremely low, between 700 and 600, but it's valued at 5,300. And the reason why Crocite's trading so low, if you look at what it reprocesses into, you get a ton of tritanium, you get a little bit of noxicum, you get a little bit of zydrine. But Crocite, with a volume of 6.4 cubic meters per unit, you can't carry very much Crocite in a mining haul, and so you're getting tons and tons and tons of tritanium per haul and very little of these more valuable minerals, making it a less valuable ore than the game actually says it is. And I would expect that Crocite is really never going to grow in value. Bistot is an interesting one because it is one of the ores that produces the mineral megasite, as well as pyrite and zydrine. But it is so rare, and no one is using megasite, and no one is using zydrine yet, that it's also severely undervalued, between 699 and 500. Now, Arcanor, which also creates megasite, but instead of megasite, zydrine, and pyrite, it's tritanium, mexilon, and megasite. Again, not worth its money. 700 to 600 in its price range, and it's supposed to be higher than Bistot. And the most rare by far, Mercroxide, which is the only ore that produces the rare mineral morphite, is trading, again, super low because there's no demand for that mineral. No one is trading it. Last thing I want to talk about is blueprints in the manufacturing market right now. Now, in the past couple of weeks, we have not seen a ton of player manufacturing. Ships haven't really been starting to get built because corporations are still just getting their feet under them. That's not the case anymore. We're seeing a ton of blueprints hitting the market. Players are starting to hit those Scout and Inquisitor anomalies. They're starting to generate these blueprints, starting to put them on the market. Manufacturing is finally starting to take off. So these blueprints are starting to actually have some real worth. You'll notice, too, these blueprints are trading very, very high. There's a high demand for these blueprints and a low supply. And so if you are looking at ways to make money quickly, one of the best ways you can do is find Scout and Inquisitor anomalies, find these blueprints, sell them on the market because they are in high demand right now. Manufacturing is going to take off really soon as that demand can be met. Another huge one is drone blueprints. The small drones, not so much, but those large drone blueprints are selling for a ton. Mark 7, Mark 5 Vespas are trading for millions of ISK per manufacturing. And you'll actually notice the Mark 5s are trading almost higher than the Mark 7s here. And the reason that is the Mark 5s are more used and more demanded than the Mark 7s. Most players right now are in the Tier 5 and Tier 6 tech levels, and so those Tier 7 drones haven't really had any value because there's no demand for them yet. You're seeing those Mark 5 drones take on a lot more value sooner because there's a high demand for them. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing more videos detailing the market in EVE Echoes, continuing to show what the trends are, where things are going, where things have been, and what to expect in the future. And, as always, thank you for watching.